Okay, today's lesson is lesson 8.4, multiplying special cases of binomials. I'm going to be using your workbook to get examples from on page 94 and 95. And the first special case is a plus b squared. And a and b can stand for any term, okay? And you'll be using simple terms when you do this. But if you were to, this is the same thing as this. Right? They're the same thing. So if you were to use FOIL or a matrix to multiply that out, you would get a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Always, always. Okay, so if you have two terms and it's to the second power, then you're always going to get a product like this. Okay? Similarly, a minus b squared, or to the second power, is always equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Bell's ringing, it's almost time to leave school. If you multiply this out using FOIL or the box method, this is the product that you would get. Okay? The third special case is called a difference of squares. Okay? I'm going to multiply this one out using FOIL just so you can see why it works the way it does. So I'm going to do first, a times a is a squared. Outer, a times negative b is minus ab. Remember, you want to put your variables in alphabetical order. Inner, b times a is positive ab. And last, b times negative b is minus b squared. So look at these guys, they cancel out. So whenever you have terms like this, a plus b times a minus b, you're always going to get a squared minus b squared. And that is called the difference of squares. It has its own name, difference of squares. Okay, so let's do a couple of these examples. Y plus 1 to the second power. Okay, it follows this pattern. You could write it all out and FOIL it, but it's easier since you know what's going to happen. It's easier just to follow the pattern. So we have 5y squared, which is going to be 25y squared, right? 5y times 5y is 25y squared. Then we have 2 5y times 1. So 5y times 1 is just 5y, right? So 2 times 5y is 10y. And then we have 1 is our b, so we have b squared. 1 squared is 1. So that's our answer for one like that. a difference. Okay, so in this case, we can follow this format. So we have 7m squared, so 7 times 7 is 49. M times m is m to the second power, minus twice the product of these two. Well, the product of these two is going to be 14 MP, right? 14 MP. So if I would have twice that, I'm going to multiply that by 2. So instead of 14 MP, it's going to be 28 MP. And it's negative because there's a minus sign there. Now I'm going to square my last term. 2p, and it's negative 2p, but negative 2p times negative 2p, you're going to get a positive answer because you're multiplying a negative times a negative. So I'm going to get 4p squared, because 2 times 2 is 4, and p times p is p squared. Okay? So you just, it's really kind of like, school's out. It's really kind of like following a recipe. You just follow in the cookbook. So in this case, we've got a difference of squares, right? The difference of squares are the easiest ones to me because all you're going to do is square your first number and square your second number, and it's going to be subtraction. So I've got d squared, because d times d is d squared, minus 1 squared, 1. Okay, so those are the 3 special cases and how they work. Your assignment is on page 291. In your book, it tells you to do some mental math things, which we're not going to worry about. But there's none of those in your homework assignment. Oh yes, there are, sorry. They want you to use mental math to do 19 through 22, so why don't you just skip 19 through 22? You can try them if you want to, but it's just as easily to do them on your calculator as to do mental math, so we're not going to worry about that. Okay? Let me know if you have any trouble.